Welcome to this week's edition of Tube Talk. Matt, you've got some big shoes to fill this week.
Yeah, certainly have, Andrew. Thanks for helping out with this. It's obviously a job that Albert and Melissa normally do, and they do it exceptionally well. They've built up almost a cult following over the last couple of months of doing it, so I think if I can do half as well as them, I'll be doing okay.
Okay, last week you had some runners scratched due to the weather and track conditions.
Yeah, there was a lot of rain up in the North Island, a lot of heavy rain too, and the tracks went from being half pie decent to heavy in most places. The same down here at Riccarton. We didn't have as much rain down here, but the track certainly deteriorated, and yeah, it was a slow eight track we struck out here. So we initially had 7 runners entered the race, ended up scratching 4 of them, and 3 of them ended up going around.
Okay, of those 3, Matt, you had a couple of good runners, Thorn Pass and Tiger both running 4th.
Yeah, we were happy with their runs. We were probably a bit frustrated with Thorn Pass. We thought he was a genuine winning chance. He was drawn barrier 1, and that was always the big concern for us, was getting caught down in the worst part of the track and not being able to get out to the better going, and that's how it ultimately turned out. He just got caught down in the worst part of the going. There was nothing making ground on the inside. Probably a wee bit disappointed with Opie's ride. It's hard to bag a jockey that won a Group 1 in Australia the week before, but yeah, we thought he had an opportunity to get him out and get him rolling out the better part of the going, but he missed that opportunity, and in the end he just battled away for 4th. So he'll now go to Alapuni on the 27th of April and be stepped up to a mile. Tiger, he got a long way back in his race. It was his first time over 2,400 metres. Got a long way back, but made up good ground in the straight. Jonathan Riddell said he handled the track and is a horse that'll stay all day. So we now may change things up with him a wee bit. We're going to look at getting his, we'll keep him racing on the flat at the moment, but we'll look at getting his jumping ticket and maybe put him over the hurdles later in the jumping season.
Very good. Some trialists at Waipa also last week, and 2 impressive 2-year-olds. Yeah,
initially we had a good team entered to trial there, but there was huge nominations in the heats that got preference. So we had 3 horses trial, I think. Of those, Frazzle, who's an Ifrage 2-year-old that we bought off our good friends at Haunui Farm. She was a really impressive winner. She won as she liked. She won by about 4 to 5 lengths on a track that was a heavy 10 and very testing. She looks a really promising horse. She got through the ground no problem at all, so we'll now look for a race for her. And the other one to mention was No More Tears. She was having her 2nd trial. She won her 1st trial impressively, and again it was another nice run from her, running 2nd. She was caught down in the worst of the going, and Danielle Johnson said she handled the ground okay, but if she'd got her out into better going, she would have won comfortably. So yeah, a couple of good trial performances we're very happy with.
On to this week's big week. 7 runners on Saturday, including Mighty Solomon going around in the Group 1 Easter Handicap at Ellerslie.
Yeah, exciting times, eh? It's always exciting having a runner in a group race, especially a Group 1. And look, we think we've got the horse to win the race. It's never easy to win any race, let alone a Group 1 race, but he's flying at the moment. He came through his last run in great order. We think it was a better run than the 7th finishing position indicates. He got a long way back, and he was drawn the outside, went back to last, and a real front-running track price on the day, but he made good ground and finished 7th. So, he gets in, he's carrying 55.5 kilos, so Jonathan Riddell will be hungry come about 20 past 4 on Saturday afternoon. It's not a weight he generally rides at, but he's committed to getting down to 55.5. Yeah, he's had 7 rides on Mighty Solomon. He's won 4 of those, so they're a great combination. And look, Mighty Solomon's drawn 10, come into barrier 7, and we think he's a really good chance. He's, you know, we wouldn't swap him for any other horse in the race.
Very good. 3 other runners at Ellerslie also.
Yeah, we have. In the 3-year-old 1400 metre race, we've got 2 horses in that, both last start winners. Silver Rod, who won his last start at Ellerslie over 1400 metres. He had run 2nd at Ellerslie the start before. He just got there by a nose last start, but he sort of knocked off once he hit the front, you know, and he probably should have won by a length or more. But he's gone ahead well. We scratched him from racing at Trentham last weekend due to a heavy track. and we're happy with him going into the race. The track's a dead 6 this morning, which he'll get away with, but we probably wouldn't want it too much worse than that. But it's an ideal race for him, and he is likely to start regardless of the track conditions. We've also got Balone in the same race. He's a half brother to Lucia Valentina, and he was an impressive winner on debut at Rotorua, so he's trained on well. Stephen Marsh is happy with him. Danielle Johnson-Ride from Barrier 5, with natural improvement, he would have to be a good chance. Both of them would be good chances in that race.
Okay, down to Hastings.
Sorry, one more to mention on that. Yeah, sorry. We've got Seize the Moment also racing at Ellerslie. He finished second over 1400 metres at Awapuni last start. Pulled a plate in the running, and it probably cost him a realistic winning chance. So he's come through that race. Initially he was a bit tender after it from pulling the plate, but he's good now and has worked super leading into the race. So he's being stepped up to a mile, which we think he'll suit. He's raced well at Ellerslie before. Unfortunately he's drawn barrier 20, which is the visitors draw. But we're sort of picking that the track's going to be off and he's in the last race, so by that time of the day they might be getting out wide and looking for better ground. So it's probably not as bad as it reads, although it's certainly not ideal.
No, definitely not. Down the island a bit to Hastings, 2 runners.
2 runners at Hastings, the first of those being Adavari, who we also scratched from racing at Trentham last week. Sorry, she was supposed to race at Awapuni last Friday, but the track came up as heavy, so we made the decision to scratch her, and we think the right decision was made. She's going well. She's been up for a long time, but she's racing consistently well. She's been stepped up to 2,500 metres on Saturday, which we think will suit. She's well drawn in barrier 3. Daryl Bradley will do the riding, and looking at track conditions and the weather forecast, we think she'll strike a perfect track, so she should get the run of the race from that draw, and she'll be a chance.
And to the South Island.
Oh, sorry, one more.
Another one at Hastings.
Yeah, another one at Hastings, sorry. Rude Awakening, how can I forget the great Rude Awakening? So she's racing in the listed sprint there, over 1,200 metres with $50,000. Her last run was super. They ran just outside the track record at Hastings, which was set by Falkirk in 2003. He was a real speed horse, and he's now standing at stud at Windsor Park. So to run just outside his track record is good going. The sectionals they ran in that race were phenomenal, and she did well to make up so much ground in the straight. And she only got beaten by a short margin, so we're confident that she's on the way back to her best, and we think she's a good chance on Saturday. She's drawn awkwardly in barrier 9, which isn't ideal, but we'll be positive from the draw. Daryl Bradley rode her last time. He'll be better suited this time around on her, and we think she's a realistic chance, a genuine chance.
Final runner for Go Racing this weekend is at Riccarton Park. What a star.
Yeah, what a star. Well, I should really ask you about her, being the resident trainer down here. She's just a few boxes up there, so yeah, she's been good. She surprised us last start. She ran second over 800 metres, I think it was, at Riccarton. We took that option due to trials being cancelled, and there was a bit of mucking around with the race that was supposed to be held in Timaru and wasn't held, so rather than trial her, we thought we'd race for some money, and she surprised us a wee bit when running second. She was nice and forward and raced well in the trail, got out and chased hard, so no, we were happy with that. She had a week in the paddock after that race. She's since come back in and her work's been good. So yeah, I mean, the big concern for us is how she will handle the track. She's bred to handle a bit of heavy going, but you know, horses that are bred to handle heavy going were really battling on the track last week, and I don't think I need to go into too much detail about it. It's been spoken about at length down here. The Canterbury Jockey Club are happy to water the outside of the track, which almost defies logic really, but that's their decision. So the track has been tripping up a lot of horses, and that is the big concern for us going into Saturday's race, how she will handle the track, because it has proven to be a difficult track over the last couple of meetings.
Okay, Matt, we need one for the week from you.
One for the week. You're putting me on the spot here. I know Albert tipped out Thorn Pass last week, which ran 4th. I can't really split two of our runners, and they're in two of the bigger races, or the biggest races of the weekend. Mighty Solomon in the Easter Handicap at Ellerslie, and Rude Awakening in the sprint at Hawke's Bay. I just really like Mighty Solomon going into the Easter Handicap. He's been set for this race since he spelled after the 400 mile. There is a question mark about him going the right-handed way at Ellerslie, but there's a lot of horses in that boat. Jonathan Riddell on, you know, his work's been super, so he would be one of them, and the other one would be Rude Awakening at Hastings. I think the last run indicated she's getting right back to her best, and I think she's got to be a massive chance.
Very good. And finally, the South Island Sales is on this Friday. Will you be heading along?
Yep, certainly will be. I guess Go Racing was born out of the South Island Sales. Albert purchased Silky Red Boxer here a number of years ago, paid $9,000 for her, and we all know how good she was. She went on to win over $500,000, and I guess it was the start of Go Racing, so I've got a lot to thank Silky Red Boxer for. So we'll go along, we'll have a look, and it's not a big catalogue, but we'll go along and see if we can pick one out and find another Silky Red Boxer. It'd be nice if we could.
Very good, Matt. Well, good luck for the week's racing.
Yeah, thanks Andrew, and good luck to everyone that's got horses in this weekend, especially the connections of Mighty Solomon. You know, great to have a runner in a Group 1, and going into it with a realistic chance in the race has got to be exciting. So thanks to everyone, thanks for helping us out, and I'm sure Albert and Melissa will be back next week on screen, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of people happy about that. So all the best. Thanks very much.